How did me and Maddy meet? So I think the first time that we saw each other was at Crew Freshman Life Group.
And we both decided to join Crew, which is a Christian organization on campus, our freshman year. And so both of us joined that pretty soon into our freshman year. We were in a freshman life group together, so that's how we met and became really good friends and had the same friend group together. So that is how our relationship or friendship started.
Christ was like a huge thing in her life, and we were both in very similar spots in our faith, and that was really cool. We were able to encourage each other in that, and we were able to grow a lot through that before we started dating, just kind of in our friendship. And also just like her temperament again, was just so even throughout everything, through the hard things, through the good things, and just so much joy in her was so cool. And I knew that there was something really special about her.
Realizing I wanted to marry Josh would probably be as we were dating, feeling like he was consistently putting me before himself, and seeing again his heart for me and his heart for me as a daughter of Christ, and not just loving certain things about me, but making me feel loved in every aspect.
We entered into our dating relationship with marriage in mind. So we wanted that to be like dating with the intent of marrying, and then if essentially wanted to date to find clarity if we should get married or not.
So I'd say the moment or a couple moments that made me want to, or helped me to realize that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with Josh would be just as we entered into our relationship, him wanting to have intentional conversations, and conversations that set the pace for what our relationship was going to look like and why we were dating. And that was something I knew I wanted to have in marriage, with someone who wanted to walk through life intentionally and think about the details of what life together would look like. And then as well as just being able to be goofy and laugh together, all accumulated in one.
Like, I learned so many things about myself and my sinful nature through her, and through her calling me out on those things, and I feel like I was able to do that for her as well, and it was just really cool. We think a lot alike too, and so that's really cool. How did I propose to Maddy? I think the question should be better asked, how did we propose to Maddy, because there are a lot of people involved.
Josh proposed by choosing the hardest way he possibly could.
I proposed the day before my birthday, and what happened is during Thanksgiving break, I had my dad pull Maddy aside and tell her that for my birthday, they were gonna fly my roommate, Tyler, up from Washington, D.C. to surprise me, and that they wanted her to drive him down from the airport. That would be part of the surprise.
So I had his flight info already, and I was tracking his flight on Saturday. So the time came where I was supposed to pick him up. At this point, I had told Josh I was working on a group project, so I was going to meet him down there later in the day. So I drive to the airport after Tyler texts me that he has landed.
What she didn't know is that he was actually drove up, and so the next day, Tyler drove up to Rochester from my house. Paul dropped him off at the departures. He walked inside, walked straight downstairs to the arrivals gate.
And there he was, sitting with the suitcase. He hops in the car, tells me all about his flight. And then I was given instructions from Josh. He had forgotten something at his apartment, a camera to fix in the barn. So I went to his apartment to go pick that up. So I picked up the camera from the apartment, it was in a box. And then Tyler and I drove down to Josh's house.
I told Maddy that I was working on security cameras up in our barn, and I needed her to pick one up that I left in Rochester, so Paul gave that to her at my apartment. She brought it down.
So we get there and we're in communication with Michael about where Josh is, because we have to surprise Josh with Tyler. When we get there, and Michael tells me that he's up in the hayloft and that he's fixing the cameras there. So I am given instructions to climb up one way up in the hayloft, and then Michael and Tyler are gonna come up the back way.
Meanwhile, I was sitting in the hayloft waiting for her, behind a maze of pictures and notes, and Jackie was up there with me too, ready to take pictures. And so Maddy came up the ladder, and I distinctly remember her like walking up, hearing her footsteps, and then her saying, "Oh!" And at that point, I knew she saw all the things, and so she started walking through what I had set up for her.
And then I turned to my right, and there are like Christmas lights all like hanging from hay bales down like an aisle that is like covered with pictures and notes. And that's when I realized I was not surprising Josh. So anyway, I walked down the aisle. It was full of starting with notes from 1 to 10, starting with our first, date, but it was an accidental date, all the way to 10 where he asked me to walk around the corner, which is when I first saw him, and within a couple minutes realized that the box was not a camera, but the box had my ring in it, and that I was getting engaged.
I proposed. And then also I had all of her family come down from Hamburg, and they were in the house waiting for us when we got in. So it was a lot of fun. She was surprised, and it was a great day.
It was amazing, and I felt like an idiot, but I loved idiot. But again, it was like super thoughtful and a testament to his attention to intricacy. Josh, before we get married, I want you to know that I am so excited to have you as my husband. I have thought about the idea of that probably before we started dating. And that's something that I now take for granted, but want to hold on to and want to remember each day as we enter into marriage, that having you as a husband is a gift, and I am so grateful for you.
I'm so excited for the weirdness, for the goofiness, for the fun, for things like playing baseball with a squash and a rubber band ball. That's amazing and fun, and I really want to do that again. I can't remember, I think you won last time, so I'm going to beat you this time. But I'm so excited to marry you. Our dating relationship is just the tip of the iceberg. There will be hard things, but they will all ultimately be good things. And I'm so excited for a future with you.